Monday night, a sibling rivalry is renewed. John and Jim Harbaugh battle for the first time since Super Bowl 47. Jay, dissect this showdown between the two brothers.
It's going to be a great one. Both teams are kind of built the same way. Harbaugh's really believe in running the football. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh coming from Michigan. We all know what he did at Michigan, but does that translate to the NFL? Well, it does. They hires Greg Roman, obviously likes to run the football, but they really inherit the key player is Justin Herbert. This guy is playing out of his mind. If you watch the first half of the Cincinnati Bengal game the other night, you would think Justin Herbert's the best quarterback in the National Football League. He's running the football, throwing on the run, dropping dimes, anticipating throws. Second half, he struggled a little bit, but I love where this football team's at with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, their ability to run the football, draft a rookie tackle, physical, matching the identity of a coach. That's hard to do in your first year. Usually it takes a couple years to get the players in here to do what you want, but all the players have bought in. Their defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter's done a great job of getting the defense in the right spot. They're number one in the defense scoring, I believe, in the National Football League. At least they were before the Bengal game. So they've really adapted to Coach Harbaugh's wishes and culture, and that's hard to do in your first year. Then you look at the Ravens and John Harbaugh, these Harbaugh brothers, seriously, he has built a culture there. They've been consistent over the years. They've been a physical, mentally tough team, a competitive team throughout the years. And just to put that product on the field year in and year out has been very impressive for me. Both these guys know how to coach. They know what they want on a football team. Typically, they run the ball more than they pass it. They're physical, and they're always in it at the end. So I don't know who's going to win, but it's going to be a great game, and it's a great showdown between a Lamar and a Justin Herbert, the offensive line, defensive line. It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, we know that these two brothers communicate a lot. Do you think they're talking a lot this week? Yeah, I know you and your brother have never coached against one another, but are they ignoring each other? What do you think that looks like?
I don't think they talk during the week. They might say hi, send a card, a little Hallmark card. Good luck this week. But no, there's so much to do. And when you're on the East Coast and West Coast, the time change is a problem. There's so much to do in your own building as far as game plan and injuries and motivating the players and getting your speeches ready and practice schedules and walk through schedules. You don't have time to talk. You talk to your brother after the game and pregame warm up. That'll be just fine.
Well, if you're Jack Harbaugh, who are you pulling for? Who's he going for? Is he going for Jay? Is he going for John?
They always liked my brother John better, so they always rooted for John. And I'd get the hug afterwards. Sorry, but woe is me. Woe is me.
All right, well, Colt, you were the only one last week to pick the Steelers. I don't know if you predicted they were going to kick 6 field goals and still win the game, but you picked the Steelers to beat the Ravens. What happened to Baltimore? Was it more of what Baltimore didn't do or what the Steelers did do?
No, I like the Steelers. You got guys like T.J. Watt and that defense that flies around. I felt like they were going to be a problem for Baltimore, and they were. But when I watch Baltimore play, it's like you got Lamar Jackson, who's a threat every time he touches the ball. Every time. Passing the ball, running the football, creating things. They didn't give the ball to Derrick Henry enough. I mean, in the fourth quarter, I don't know how many touches he had. It wasn't very many. I think they just got to get back to a little bit of that ground game, like pound the rock, let the offensive line lean on the Chargers a little bit. They've got to establish some version of that against the number one scoring defense in the league with the Chargers. Everything builds off that. You get your receivers open, you get them one-on-ones, the mark can move around and run a couple zone reads. The play action kind of comes to life. They never really look like they got in a rhythm, especially in the second half against the Steelers. And going against the Chargers is not going to be an easy task. They're going to have to figure that out early.
What has looked good is the San Diego Chargers offensive line. AQ, me and you were on the phone talking about this earlier. Give me your thoughts on the Chargers offensive line and specifically Joe Alt.
Joe Alt has been fantastic. He might be having one of the better rookie offensive line seasons that we've seen in some years. I think he's one of the highest graded guys, and he's not giving up any sacks, maybe since he played TJ Watt. But listen, their whole group is really good. I mean, they went and got Bradley Bozeman to play center. They got Zion Johnson, who I told you earlier today I absolutely love. But Joe Alt is fantastic. Their 2 bookend tackles are as good as they have in this league, with Rashawn Slater, man, in the left side, and Joe Alt moving over to the right side, obviously, before this year. But they're doing some cool stuff. I mean, Greg Roman comes from Baltimore, so you got a lot of similarities on this team. It's going to be cool to watch because these are 2 of the better offensive lines in football, and there's a lot of similarities between what both teams want to do, and it starts with both teams' offensive lines.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Baltimore's got a good idea of Greg Roman. I mean, he was there for a while. He's the one who helped Lamar, with all the zone read early on in his career. Like they're very familiar, not only the Harbaughs, but these coaching staffs have a lot of crossover.
And it's the culture. And I watched the breakdown after the Chargers game the other day, and Jim Harbaugh has everyone go high five each other. Then they sing "He's a Jolly Good Fellow." Then they all hug it out and like put their khakis on and do like a sleepover. How far do you take building culture, Jay? And like, when do you know the guys are going to buy in? How do you know if you're going too far? How do you know if you're not going to lose the locker room by doing weird stuff like that? Derwin James looked like he was having the best night of his life hugging Harbaugh after the game. So what's your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh and how he handles that locker room?
Well, Jim's a genius, man. He gives him college football, and the job that he takes in national football, like he has Justin Herbert, Derwin James, he's got great culture built already in that building. So now you draft guys that you like. You mentioned Joe Alt, first-round pick. I mean, he's a great kid from Notre Dame, and you just continue to get your leadership guys to be incredible people that buy in. Then the guys that come in, they're all going to buy in as well. So it's a very natural fit for everybody. And it's not hard to build good culture when your leadership is so strong, like the Chargers have with Herbert and Derwin James and Khalil Mack and guys like that. It's a great fit, and they just need a little spark, and they got it at the head coaching position. Now everybody believes they're having success. I don't know how long they're going to maintain it, though, honestly. These guys are they've got a good record, but I worry about their skill on the outside. They want to run the ball. They opened up against the Bengals with 3 straight runs, went 3 and out, and they said, okay, enough. Let's let Justin Herbert throw it around a little bit. But, Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey's a good player. I like him. Palmer's he's catching 1 or 2 passes a game. Disley's a decent tight end. I just worry about their weapons moving forward to win bigger games and more important games to get them into playoffs or win playoff games. But I love what they've done so far.
Well, did the Steelers show the playbook on how to slow the Ravens down and how to stop them? Is that something that teams are going to try to emulate, AQ?
Terrell Austin has done a fantastic job the last couple of years against Lamar Jackson. I think they do a great job just kind of mixing and disguising things. But where it starts is where you can't recreate what Pittsburgh does is the personnel they have along their defensive front, right? Like TJ Watt, Herbig, right? And then you got Benton and Cam Hayward's playing at an unbelievable level this year. So they kind of played a little bit of bully ball against the Ravens, which took a Ravens team that has had a very good offensive line all year long, and they won the trench battle, in my opinion. I thought Pittsburgh did a nice job. Obviously, they got great players in the secondary. Joey Porter can match up against anybody, from week to week, and he was following people around. But I think Terrell Austin had a great game plan, and he has against Lamar.
Yeah, it's the first time the Ravens have been held to under 20 points.
Well, I don't think that the Chargers are going to hold them to under 20 points this week. I think the Ravens are going to walk in there and get back on track and get back to doing the things that they've been doing all year. I feel that, and I just don't think the Chargers, when that happens, are going to be able to keep up with them. Jay mentioned it. Like, who do you want Herbert to throw to? Like, they had perfectly designed plays against the Bengals that first half. Herbert was on fire. He's a great quarterback. If this becomes a game where the Ravens get out early, I just don't see it happening.
Before we continue with the video, I have to ask one favor. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, and turn on those notifications. If you like this type of content, if you like hearing us talk football, hit that notification button. So every time we drop a video, it is coming straight to you. One major component is hitting kicks. Justin Tucker, maybe the best kicker of all time, is the reason that the Ravens lost that last game. Jay, if you have a kicker struggling like that, do you send Deebo Samuel to try to choke him out and punch him? How do you handle a kicker that's been your rock for so many years when he starts missing like that?
Yeah, pat Justin Tucker on the head. He's a Hall of Fame kicker. Not many kickers are going to be in a Hall of Fame, but he's going to be one of them. Awesome. I can't believe it. It's probably because I picked the Bengals or the Ravens. That's why I missed it. If I would have picked the Steelers, he would have made them all. It's just my luck. I'm like a black cat when I say something good about a team. But the Ravens, now, I think the key to this game, really, if you really boil it down, is going to be time of possession. I think both these teams have the ability to possess the ball, and that's what hurt the Ravens last week against the Steelers. Steelers did a good job of maintaining the football. I think the Ravens only had like 50-some plays. That's why Derrick Henry wasn't able to get going. And then when they did get the ball in the fourth quarter, give the ball to Derrick Henry, they were down 8 with like 2 minutes to go. They couldn't get the ball to Derrick Henry. So calm down, Rex Ryan. Rob Ryan, Rex Ryan, and Colt McCoy. They threw him a screen pass on first down in the fourth quarter. He got 15 yards, legal man downfield. Next play threw a pick. That's a horrible call. It's a horrible call. They can call that all the time. I can't stand these referees looking for flags. Just call the flags that are obvious.
And the turnovers that the Steelers got were incredible. That interception,
That
Logan
interception
Wilson
on Justice Hill was, who was that guy? That was the most amazing play I've ever seen.
Logan Wilson, the linebacker from Pittsburgh.
Jeez, that was a great play. So, I mean, it's going to be a great game, great fun to watch, but the team that possesses the ball, because this is going to be a ball control type game. I don't see the Chargers making any huge explosive plays. And really the Ravens, Zay Flowers can do it. Obviously, Derrick Henry on a long run. They're more of a ball possession team too. So again, third down, red zone and turnovers, boys. I say it every week.
The Ravens are number one against the run. They are last against the pass. Actually, this might be the one week where that's to their advantage. Do we see this being the Achilles heel for the Ravens going forward? Do they have what it takes to compete against Buffalo and the Chiefs with that defense?
I think so. I do. I think they'll get better against the pass, but when you get in cold games and outdoor weather games, it's going to be hard to throw the ball. So be able to stop the run, number one. We can always design some blitzes and some coverages and change it up, but to try to get some balls batted down or get off the field. But being last against the pass for the Ravens, I never thought in a million years I'd hear the Ravens last in anything on defense. It is quite shocking. They do have to improve, but I think they can get it done a little more time and a little bit better pass rush.
I just don't fear any of their pass rushers. I think that I know Odafe had a couple sacks. I know Kyle Van Noy's up there around 10 sacks, but like I don't fear any of them. And and Matabuke is not having the year that he had last year, but they can. I think their front's good at stopping the run, but like I think when it gets to the playoff times, I think Buffalo's got some guys. Von Miller can obviously make a play when you need it. Chris Jones plus Karlaftis, they can make plays when you need it. Like the teams that are going to need guys that when you need them on third down to make a play on 3rd and 4, whenever it's a critical situation in the game, I just don't see Baltimore having that guy.
Well, Baltimore does have that one guy, Kyle Hamilton. I know they dropped him back and put him back there at depth a little bit more than having him up to the line of scrimmage. Colt, talk about playing against a guy like Kyle Hamilton. He's just a game changer at the safety position. He's like Budda Baker in Arizona or a Palomalu. What's your thoughts when you're playing quarterback and you have a game changer like that on defense?
Down in the box, he looks like a linebacker, right? He's just a ball hawk. He's around the ball all the time. I don't know if I compare him to Budda Baker because Buddha's 5'9", maybe 5'10". I think Kyle Hamilton's like 6'4". I'd probably say he's more like a Cam Chancellor type safety, but he is better in coverage than you think. And I think Baltimore does a nice job of utilizing his skills and what he's best at. They don't ask him to play a ton of man coverage. And, having a guy like that on the field and that presence obviously helps your defense.
Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.
All right, enough talking about these teams. Let's make some picks here. AQ, who do you got in this one?
I'm going to go Chargers. I just like what they're doing. I really do. I like their offensive line. I like what they're doing on offense, and I really am a big fan of everything that they are bringing to the table every week, which is the Harbaugh DNA.
You must be really surprised by this offensive line at the Chargers because I remember you thinking, like, I don't know if these guys are built to run the football, pound the rock, but they're obviously doing a lot better, huh?
They are, and I also didn't think that Joe Alt would fit the Harbaugh style of offense that he likes to do, the downhill power, two-back style of offense, and he has fit in very well in this scheme. And I think the guards make it, right? Like you have to have two big bruising guards, and they got two guys that are doing a heck of a job at guard. Obviously, their center's a tough guy. He's a prick. He obviously stood up for Herbert a couple weeks ago whenever he was getting his knee twisted up. So they got the mentality, they got the guys, and this group has surprised me more than any group, I think, in the National Football League.
He also said the Bills would struggle without Mitch Morse.
All right, guys, I'll see you later.
All right, Jay, who do you got in this one?
I got Baltimore Ravens. I think they're going to get back on track, and Lamar's going to have a big day. It's going to be a great game, no doubt about it. It's Monday Night Football, but I think the Ravens are a better football team all the way around.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. I mean, I just think that they came off a tough loss in the division. They get to go out to LA, figure out a way to win this one. I just feel like they're built for making a run, and where they're at in the division, this one matters to them a lot. And this is a game that Lamar gets back on. Lamar's going to go off this game. He's hearing all week about the number one defense and all, like, he's going to play well. I just think it's going to be too much for the Chargers.
I'm with you on that. A pissed off Ravens team is not a team you want to play against. I think John Harbaugh goes out and continues to beat his brother just like in Super Bowl 47, and the Ravens get another win.
All right, I'm going to go with J.K. Dobbins' higher rushing yards this week. I'm leaning on it. I'm leaning heavy into this offensive line and what the Chargers are bringing to the table. Higher rushing yards, J.K. Dobbins.
I'm going to have Zay Flowers, higher receptions this week. Got to lean on him. I think Lamar's going to have to throw it to him a little bit more. The Chargers defense is going to slow down Derrick Henry a little bit, and Zay Flowers is going to be the welcome acceptor of a lot of plays coming his way.
I'm taking Justin Tucker. I've never bet on a kicker before, but I'm taking either the higher of Justin Tucker not missing a kick. I think he's going to make 3 or 4 field goals in this game. I think he's going to get back on track. Let's go, J-Tuck.
Justin Tucker, that's a good one.
I like it.